I'm bad enough going into the next county. If you've got a UK passport, do you need a visa to get in?
No, you don't. You're absolutely fine if you've got a UK passport, so no need for worrying with those types of admin jobs.
It's a little bit chilly here in the UK now and a bit drafty yesterday. But
Oh, goodness, yeah.
what's the weather like and when's the best time of year to go?
So, with they sort of say the rainy season is between December to March. But again, it depends on what you're going on holiday for. So if you're looking for sort of a beach holiday, you can go pretty much all year round. The temperatures stay, I think it's between sort of April to November, it's around 22 to 33 degrees Celsius. It's, not too shabby really. But if you're looking to maybe do something more sports focused or perhaps even golf, which is a big destination for, we'd probably advise the sort of winter and the slightly cooler months, so when it's a bit drier.
So any time really, if you don't want to do nothing.
Exactly, yeah. It's an all-round destination, so.
As well as jet lag and stuff like that, I'm also bad with needles in my arm.
Oh.
Do you need any jabs or other medication?
No, we just say that you perhaps go and get your booster jabs and just making sure that you're fit for travel. But other than that, again, no more tricks to the doctor, so you wouldn't have to worry about any encounters of needles.
I may have fainted once with a yellow fever one, but we won't go there.
Yeah, I'm not very good either. The sight of blood makes me squeamish.
Yeah. I used to be able to watch anybody bleed, but now I can't even do that.
Oh, I think it's an age thing. I think like it's only happened to me over the past couple of years, so.
Apparently, according to my wife, it's because I'm a wuss. And that's that. Can you give a brief overview of the history of the island, please?
Yeah, so originally it was discovered by Arabians, and then it's sort of done a bit of shifting throughout the years. The Portuguese then inhabited, followed by the Dutch, then the French, which probably explains why there's a lot of French influences, and the French then gave it on to the British. In 1968, the country got its independence, so it's not that old as a country as far as countries go. But in terms of the history of the island, its biggest export is sugar plantation, and that still remains a key focus for the island.
With all those different countries having their hand in, what's the official language now?
So the official language is English, but then you'll also get bits where there's French and Creole, but in the Mauritius version, Creole sort of encounters all the Indian Ocean islands, but it would just be specific to those guys.
As a destination, is it really adults only, or is it good for families as well?
Not at all. We definitely promote it as a great family destination as well. There's a number of reasons why that is. Firstly, there's no sort of nasty, so you don't need to worry about like sort of malaria or any sort of insects and things like that. Another thing is the choice of facilities with the hotels, all of them pretty much with interconnecting rooms and kids clubs. To name but a few, I think it is the Hilton that has sort of a specialist spa treatment for children, which if you while mum goes and has a pamper, you can send the kids to, which makes it a lot easier. Other ones, there's the Hobbit Village offered by Four Seasons, so there's a whole choice there for them in that respect. And we always try to promote it as sort of for all ages, so not just maybe just catering for the younger ones, but right through to their teens as well, which is great. Also, again, with the flight difference, that makes a world of difference, because it just means that the children, that they sort of can adjust to their time in Mauritius and make the most of their holiday.
So it's for everybody, that's good.
Definitely.
If somebody's only been to the Caribbean when it comes to an island as a long haul destination, how does Mauritius compare to a Caribbean holiday?
It's a bit of a tricky one. So I'd say probably the main point of difference is the different cultures there. So it's a bit of a melting pot of cultures. So probably I'd say that's the core reason. But we do testament that it is very separate to other islands in the world.
You've already mentioned about hotels having interconnecting rooms for families and stuff. But what is the mix of accommodation like? Is it all big hotels, or is there bed and breakfasts and stuff like that?
There's definitely a huge mix there. So you've got the, as you said, sort of the large resort hotels, but you've also got your villas, which is sort of ever increasing as time goes on, as well as your boutiques. A nice boutique one, which we've sent a few journalists out there to recently, is the 20 Degrees Sud. You've got a bit for everyone there. So it really depends what you're after as a holiday maker.
No, I just picked up on them. We sent some journalists there. I'll get my begging letter out.
You're listening to The Travel Show with John Guinn on ukhealthradio.com.
We've covered how far away it is and the weather and everything, but what can you actually see and do once you're there?
Okay, yeah. So, there is an awful lot to do. So, if you're going there for the beaches and things like that, there's also a great opportunities for sort of adventure sports and sort of culture as well. I know we touched on that, even if you're wanting to do a bit of a food experience. So, again, caters for all markets, really.
Going to get into slightly a bit more specifics now. Starting off with, which is the best beach to spend 2 weeks on?
Oh, it's too tricky to say, and I don't, as speaking on behalf of the tourism board, we pretty much say all of them. Again, it depends what you're after. So if you're wanting sort of the white sands, which sort of the Indian Ocean is synonymous with, you're wanting to head to the east. The soft sands, like the deep soft sands, you're more suited to the west. And then the north, you're going to have your little beach coves, which are incredibly idyllic. And in the south, it has long stretches of beaches. So it really depends on what your taste is, really.
Okay, then. That's very diplomatic of you. Hopefully you won't be so diplomatic with this one. So which resorts would be best for those who are looking for peace and quiet and those who are party animals? Okay,
this one I can be a little bit more specific with. So if you're wanting to be party central, we'd suggest maybe the Grand Bay on Flick and Flack. So they've got sort of a multitude of clubs and bars and things like that. So if you really want to let your hair down, you'd probably head that way. But that's not to say you can't have a relaxed time there as well. Pretty much with all of the exclusive hotels, you could really have a peaceful retreat. So I think that's sort of part of the beauty of Mauritius is these hotels do make that available.
If you want to explore on your own, how easy is it to get around? Is there public transport as well as taxis?
There is, but we probably suggest that car hire is the best way. I mean, with everything as well, it means that, if you have a specific itinerary, you can go off and do your own thing. So car hire is probably the best one we'd suggest.
So the roads are pretty safe?
Yes, definitely.
What about the capital city? Is it worth a visit there?
So, yeah, definitely. So you've obviously got your sort of shopping and your market. So, we definitely count it as a visit. It's definitely worth including in your itinerary.
Is it somewhere you could spend a few nights, or is it just pop in there from the beach?
I'd say that you could spend a couple of nights there as well, definitely.
My favourite subject now is food.
Mine too, definitely.
If somebody's not a fussy eater, but they're on a special diet, gluten-free, vegan, whatever, would they be alright finding stuff to eat?
Most definitely. I mean, all the hotels will cater to whatever dietary requirements that you may have. But in terms of it, if you're a bit of it, they also have a multiple of different cuisines there. So as you probably would have gathered from the different inhabitants it's had over the years, this has obviously affected its food choices. So it's got a bit of a mix of Indian, Chinese, French and English. So not all together, not one of these crazy fusion cultures, but there's something for everyone.
Is there a particular dish which really means Mauritius when you look at it?
Not particularly sure. I mean, we just recently, last year we did a whole campaign with, we worked very closely with the former MasterChef winner, who had a collaboration with the Maldiva, and she has released a cookbook since then with all of her Mauritius recipes, so that gives you a flavour there. But I think it's just more so it just takes influences from all around the world.
Okay. If somebody wants to be romantic and get married, how easy is it to do it?
Yeah, so pretty much it's the only country within the Maldives where you can be legally married, and you can also get married anywhere. So, if you wanted to be adventurous and perhaps get married while scuba diving.
Mm-hmm.
There's every opportunity that you could do that. So, or even skydiving. So it's great if you want to do something a little bit different. And the fact that it makes it legal makes it even better.
Yeah, that's pretty handy being legal, isn't it?
Yeah. So, but the hotels do stick to one rule that they only allow one wedding per day. I just think that way it makes it a little bit more exclusive and gives you that real sort of one-off experience.
Yes, that's definitely the best way to do it. Otherwise, it's all a conveyor belt, isn't it?
Yeah, most definitely. Don't want to be in a queue.
No. Just thinking about the skydiving one. When I got married, my best man didn't even want to give a speech. I don't think there's any way he'd be jumping out of a plane.
No. Oh, goodness. That was one duty.
Oh, no, he was too nervous.
And bringing the rings.
He managed that bit all right. Not the speech.
That's a relief.
Yeah. The internet has a big part to play now in booking holidays. Is Mauritius good for DIY booking, or is it best to go for a tour operator or travel agent?
So we'd suggest maybe if you want to do some of your research, the internet is a fantastic tool for that respect, but we'd always recommend to go through a travel agent. They can offer you that on-the-spot expert advice and help you really create an itinerary that suits you and is tailored to your needs. So yeah, definitely travel agent all the way.
Okay. What would be the ideal length of time to visit, and do you have an itinerary you could recommend?
Again, the itinerary, I think that's really bespoke to your own choices. If you're interested in sort of romantic, you could do just a beach, the adventure side of things, or cultural or food. It really depends on your taste. But we'd suggest with any of those, even if you wanted a mixture of all three or however many different genres there, probably the optimum stay is around 10 to 14 days.
10 to 14 days. I'm just planning my diary for next year. And how do we find out more about Mauritius?
Okie dokie. So the best place for you to find out more is via the website. So which is www.tourismmauritius.mu. So that's tourism Mauritius with a dash in between.
Oh, with a dash. Tourism Mauritius. Yep. And everything you need to know is on there, is it?
It is indeed, yeah.
Thank you for explaining about the island. I just have one more question to ask. When's the next journalist trip then?
To be seen.
Thanks, Leanne. Thanks for your time.
We've reached the end of the second of 4. John's taken a break from the travel show on ukhealthradio.com. As I said, I will be back in August. I hope you found the information on Parkdean Holiday Homes, Berlin and Mauritius useful, and maybe you've been inspired by the great projects. As I said, I will be back in August. I've got one or two things planned already. However, if there's any travel topic you want discussed or covered by the show, please leave me a message at facebook.com/John Guinn Travel Show. If you've been on a volunteering holiday, please post your pictures there because I'll be interested to see what you got up to. And I hope you can join me next week for the third of the 4 John's taking a break from the travel show on ukhealthradio.com. Where, as always, I'll be checking it out before you check in.